The show continued during the break, and the question that the chairman was attempting to answer that we posed to him during the break was how they could ignore information that existed that was pertinent to the investigations, the queries you were making. You can share that with our viewers.
The information we have is the draft report that we have received from KPMG, which the committee could not get able to adapt because of the conditions that has been put on that report. We waited for this report for 6 months so that we can be able to incorporate into our report. When it came with disclaimer. When it came in a draft form. We have consulted our lawyers as members of parliament. It cannot be used as a reference. And when you cannot be able to refer to a certain document, to a certain witness in a report, I don't know how I can be able to pick and put it in a report.
Okay.
These are the House of
Respond
records.
to our viewers directly. Alex from Diani, Honorable Abdi Noor is simply playing hide-and-seek games, period. Honorable Noor is talking too much and acting guilty. His body language tells us a lot. That came from Harry in Masaku. But then there's this. How do you adopt a report of KRA who are also being blamed and supposed to be investigated? And then there's this. It's a big shame the chair is supporting the culprits.
We adopt the KRA report because it's a report signed and it has been adopted as a document that can be used. Despite the fact that the KRA is culprit, they have informed us that they are not sure of the sugar crossing the border. The amount they are sure is out of 70,000 tonnage is 8,000 tons. It is themselves who have declared and informed us that they are culprits. So the issue that we cannot use an information from culprits, they confessed it in their report that what they are sure is only 8,000 metric tons that appears in their Simba system to have crossed the border. The rest they are not sure. If they are not sure, and I'm not sure, the only issue that I have to recommend is for further investigation by the investigating bodies who have the capacity.
So in response to Anthony Nairobi, I don't know why we're going round in circles. It is clear that there was theft and the chairman should forward the names to the EACC and the CID. You will be doing that.
I will do that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sir?
I had wanted to just ask, because the chairman is sort of trying to deny the public the facts as they were. We have entries, and those entries are purely fictitious because you would easily see that one entry is exporting on one truck. They have put 2,000 bags of sugar. Each bag is 50 kilos. And 2,000 bags of sugar translates to 100 tons of sugar on a truck. Is it possible? That's the question we need to be asking. Do we have any truck that can carry 100 tons? And this is very, very clearly spelled out in the entries that we have. And I wish we could have carried these files. What has been put there I have not seen, but I wish I would have known that this would be the way, the direction that we are going to investigate. I would have carried here documents that would have surprised you. Chairman has had an opportunity to look at these documents. And I don't know why chairman is not coming out fully to expose the culprits, because if we were to investigate, really, this is very criminal, because someone has eaten the money that would have otherwise been revenue, the government in terms of VAT, and we cannot really also be confirmed that that money was paid to the company. I mean, the very funny things have happened in Mumias.
Honorable Charlie, you are the one who is misleading the nation. The entries can be 10,000 metric tons. When I intend to import or export, I feel the entries to the custom that I have an intention to export 10,000 metric tons. What entry can carry 20,000 metric tons? So it doesn't mean that every lorry has to go with an entry. No, Chairman, I'm not an exporter as per se.
But you said you're a transporter.
Chairman, Chairman, I'm very specific. You know, for export is not like imports. Because, and for your information, I have been doing clearing the last 25 years, myself. And therefore, when it comes to issues of clearing and forwarding, I can teach you a bit. What I wanted to tell you, Chair, is that when you are importing a consignment, it could be for 10,000, and you can break down on lorries. But for the exports, before you export, you make an entry, you must also declare the truck that is carrying. And that's what we are referring.
Do you declare the truck on the entries?
Yes. It has to be. It has to be
Come and get
included.
us get the entries are here. Get us one registration number.
Let
of
me
any
ask you
truck.
one
Yeah, we
general
have
question.
so many. We
Chairman.
have so many of them.
Let me ask you a general question.
Those are lies.
Let me ask you a general question. There has been allegations about corruption within parliamentary committees. Do you believe that there is corruption in parliamentary committees?
It's not in parliamentary committees. It is in this country as a whole.
Yes.
And I don't exonerate and say in parliament there's no corruption. Neither do I have evidence that I can tell you so and so is corrupt.
Yes.
And these general terms of committees are corrupt. It's normal with Kenyans.
Is there
And corruption is there in Kenya. That
Would
one I
there
don't
be
know.
any corruption in your committee?
Not to my knowledge.
Not your-
We are 29 in number.
Yes.
And
Yes.
everybody sleeps in a different. I have not seen none of them. These are the first ones I have seen. So I don't know what they do at night. I don't know what they do during the daytime. We only
Involving this writing of this
no,
report?
not at all.
Why
Yeah,
is
Not
it
at all.
that some
Not at
members, did all members sign the report, the final one?
Why did,
This
yeah.
one?
Those who are present, those members who are present, I think that two of them, Honorable Ashali and Honorable Kabando, Honorable Kabando or Kabando.
Yes.
There are two members who have not signed.
Yeah.
The others were absent. They are not supposed to sign.
Well, what was their reason for not signing?
You hear what he has not signed for.
Say for Washali, because he has a problem with the deletion of a recommendation that he thought should have been carried through.
Makali, I was not present when they were signing the report.
Where were you?
When I looked at the mood on Friday, you know, we started discussing this report on Friday afternoon.
Right.
When I checked the mood of the committee members, I decided not even to go back on Saturday. The only member who was there present and he refused to sign until when this comment is included is Honorable Wandai. Honorable Kabando and myself joined the deputy president for a function that was in Kakamega. We have to put facts as they are.
Right.
And we knew, even as we were leaving, we knew that that is likely to be the case because they were hinging a lot on KPMG report. And KPMG report does not have the issues of exports. It is the exports that stated the comment that we had put there, the recommendation that we had put there. Therefore, for them to be hinging on KPMG, which did not even have the issues of exports, it was very unfair.
It will bail you out.
Yeah.
In what way is he lying?
If you are not there, we are writing the recommendation.
Just a minute. In what way is he lying? Because you say that he's not telling us the
He
truth.
is lying because in the first day when we met for the report, we were cruising through the report. Honorable Ashali went for the demonstration. We saw his hands tied. He just went to play to the gallery.
With the
Where you could have been,
I will tell you for
where you could
free.
have been in the
I will
committee
tell
and
you for free.
defending those positions.
And
Just a moment.
I'll give you the reason why I went for demonstration.
No.
I went for demonstration.
You can give your own reasons, but I'm saying why you are lying. You represent the people. There their life is in the hand of the committee.
so he's under pressure.
He just left and went for demonstration. He came back the following day, very briefly, before we went even to the recommendation, when we were discussing this report,
Yeah,
that we are adapting or we are not adapting.
yeah.
And then he went to install a bishop, rather than fighting for his people, for this report to be included. So Honorable Washali has been playing politics with this matter. And we have been doing facts and figures.
Right.
So that is where we diverted from the word go. Just be
So
speak
what
the
is
truth. As a
which
member of the
politics
committee,
is
yes.
in a name?
Yes.
Which politics is in a name?
Yeah.
Because as we are resisting,
Let me ask you
because of
another
the-
general question.
Yeah.
With this report here, which you say is a draft, which was written in Mombasa,
It's not written in Mombasa.
Oh.
Why are you repeating
The
same
draft.
thing?
wherever.
We
This is a
don't-
draft
we
report.
don't write reports.
Wherever.
Yeah, we adapt reports.
It is
as members.
this report.
No, but we
Which
have
was
to
whoever
review
wrote-
the writing of the
whoever
report.
wrote it.
In fact, that is
let me
another
put it-
confusion
Hold
that
on.
is
Whoever
created.
wrote
Hold
this
on.
report.
Hold on. Mutagi, ask a question.
Whoever wrote the report,
Yes.
it is part of your business when you went to Mombasa.
Yes.
It came up with some names.
Yes.
Do you know, did you read the names here?
Yes.
Who decided they be removed?
The committee decided to be removed.
Okay.
Because it is not the committee which puts there.
It is not the committee that
It's not the committee which puts those
who
names
put
there.
there.
It's the drafters of the report.
Who are the drafters of the
And the
report? On
secretariat.
whose
So
authority
you're
do they
blaming the
act?
The
Secretariat.
secretariat brings the report in a draft form.
Yes.
And then the committees
they
goes
went and
through.
cooked the names.
Acting on their own authority without any input from yourselves?
This is not a report. That's why
It is a draft report.
Yeah, the draft is there for confirmation or this confirmation by the committee.
Yes.
Yeah, the secretariat do the handwork and then they bring it.
They cooked the names and included them here without your knowledge.
Yes, yes. I can say yes, I can confirm.
That-
But if you can be able to see where that name is deriving from, then you can tell me.
Well, the
But
names
sir,
are
you're
here.
the one
No,
supposed to tell
the names
us.
are there at the last page.
Yes.
But where have they been driven from? Then you go through the report. You know, if you don't read the report, the recommendations are informed by the
what
witnesses.
they are.
Sir,
Let us
how
respect.
is anyone listening to you supposed to have confidence in your management of this committee or in your ability to oversight agriculture in this country?
No, the issue is somebody can be able to put the name the way Honorable Washali has, because he's one of the drafters of the report, by the way. Let me say it.
But you've just told us that
Again,
the Secretariat writes the
we have given
reports.
2 members or 3 members from the sugar industry to,
Yes.
to assist them in drafting the report.
Yes.
Right.
Ekindina is here.
Yes, he's one
No,
of them.
Yes.
the issue is with you.
So the secretariat.
The secretariat drafts
drafts the
report for
report.
us normally.
Right.
Yes.
But we have tasked them to assist them and look at it
So you
before
think-
it comes to the main
So
house.
you blame Honorable Wasali
The Washali is the one who has put
for
it there
the
from-
including the
from
names there?
from the word ago. He has a fixed mind on that one.
Okay.
Yes, I have to be very sincere with you.
So going back to the reports, just to be sure, because you said that you were not able to take into account the KPMG report, at any point, given that it's non-partisan, it's non-partisan, it's professional, do you see your committee adopting it?
We have asked in our recommendation to be given the final report. If we get the final report, we are going to act on it accordingly. That is the recommendation that I said is missing from this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have requested for Mumias Sugar to give us the final report of KPMG. We waited for this report 6 months. In fact, we have even told them that at least they should be capable of delaying us and giving us a draft report rather than giving us a final report.
Maybe I can brief you. These are the findings of the committee, even though he is calling the
disowning it.
committee as drafters. Huh? Before they came up with this recommendation, these were the findings, which I would have finding number 57. Can you read?
Who wrote them? You know who wrote them?
I don't know whether you are disowning us. We are supposed to be part and parcel of your committee. And it is
Exactly,
how
because
committee
you
works,
appointed
because
them
you
to
cannot
help.
ask everybody.
Yeah,
You can,
that's why
you see,
that's why I said-
Magali, you know
That's
the
why I
committee,
said-
the way it works.
Yes.
That's why I said if the drafters draft the report,
Yes.
and then it brings to the people who told them to draft the report,
Yes.
and then it is for the main committee to exclude issues or to include issues.
But
Yes.
Honorable Noor, you seem to be attempting to play with Kenyans' heads. This says the committee investigations, which included site visits to the various areas of interest, the subcommittee terms of reference came up with the following findings, which by its nature, suggests that you tasked a subcommittee of your committee to go out
Correct.
and make investigations
Yes.
and to come back and report to you. So how you come and disown this by telling us that it was drafted by the Secretariat, you don't know who it was on by the Secretariat, and then you tell us that you seconded, some of the members of your committee to the Secretariat. You're shifting positions. And it all makes for a very shifty response to our questions.
I'm not shifting anything
Maybe
at
after
all.
it transported.
What you are reading
Change-
there,
change
what you are
it.
reading there is still here.
Yes.
It is not removed.
Yes.
The
Of
committee's
course it hasn't
investigation-
been removed, but what you are
Yeah.
telling us is that this has nothing to do with you. It's
Yeah.
all down to some amorphous entity known as the Secretariat,
That
which
created-
has nothing to do with you.
It has something to do with me. I have told you the draft report is done by the Secretariat. It is brought to the main house or the main committee for consideration.
Right.
And in consideration, I say it can be excluded. They can punch apart. They can include what they have left. That is their duty.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but what
the
I
idea is
what
resolved.
I wanted to ask my chairman is that we went to Mombasa last year, White Sands, if I remember very well, and we used quite a colossal sum of money.
Forget about the money used. Just talk about the report.
No, it's important. It's
Yeah.
important that
Because
we
it
bring
must
it
mean
out.
something.
Yeah, because the reason why we were going to Mombasa was to finalize this report of crisis in the sugar sector.
Yes.
And while we were in Mombasa, we came up with
With that
this report, which has not signed, and I agree with you, it's a draft. The question here is, because the recommendation here was based on the report of Kenya Revenue Authority, not KPMG. KPMG you can do with whatever you want to do with it. But this is a very clear case of where money that was meant to have been paid to the government has not been paid because nobody exported the sugar.
That's why you have.
What?
That's why you have removed honorable.
Right.
The recommendation that I put here, it is you who removed.
So,
I
so
will,
you've
I will
told us
produce it
that,
as an evidence.
okay. So
Yeah.
you've told
Well,
us
you
that
can
you're
decide.
involved in transportation,
Yes.
and that the money, the 4 million shillings that you received, had to do with the transport that business that you'd done for the sugar company.
Not sugar company. I never did anything for sugar company.
You didn't. You've not. Do you or you don't? You don't move sugar.
I don't. No, I move sugar for the distributors, not
distributors.
not from the company. Yeah.
Several of our viewers would like to know whether that, in your mind, constitutes a conflict of interest.
If I transport maize, is it a conflict of interest? Because I am the chair of agriculture, and I do transport. If I transport maize tomorrow, is it?
That's the question our viewers are asking you, actually.
No,
I think the viewer should ask
my
this.
co- my
That 4 million shillings which you were paying through Kenya Commercial Bank,
yeah,
who paid you?
the distributor,
What's the name of the company?
Abbas.
Huh?
Abbas.
Abbas.
Yes.
And a company called
Abbas.
Abbas and Company.
Yes.
Or an individual called Abbas.
An individual, yeah,
Abbas-
an individual business.
Actually, Abbas is the son of Khalifa, the owner of YH. And YH is the biggest distributor of Mumias sugar. And if we,
So
So you see the connection?
It's adding up here.
So is this the same Abbas or a different Abbas?
The different Abbas or the same Abbas. That one, I did transport for cereal board. I do transport.
No.
You see, a matter has come
You
up.
cannot deal with
with,
someone who
Mr.
can
Noor.
pay you 4 million and you don't know his background. Honestly,
No,
I
he's a
want to be
business- he's a
very
businessman.
open. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
he
if
related
it
to
is a business, you
is he
must
the
know
one
the
related
people
to
you're
the
dealing with.
sugar distributor?
Which
Or is
one?
that- Can you repeat what you said?
The relations, the relation doesn't matter. You can be related to me. You can do the different business. Last time, Honorable, my vice chair, Honorable Mbiki, people brought a document and say Mbiki is doing sugar business. But it was his brother who was doing that sugar business. It's not Mbiki. But it was brought that it is him, and the letters were tabled.
No, but I want you
You
to
see?
confirm
So-
or deny.
Yeah,
You
if
mean
this
you don't
Abbas-
know that Abbas is the son of Khalifa, who is the owner of
I don't
YH, that
need
is
to-
a distributor?
I don't need to know. Abbas is a distributor. Abbas himself is a distributor.
So
Khalifa
why
sounds
did you
familiar with
what
that
did you
house.
do for Abbas to pay you 4 million?
Abbas himself is a distributor. That's why I transport
So
for
what
him.
did you-
So
what did
why do you take me back to
What did you do
who
to
are the
Abbas to pay you
distributors?
4 million?
Yeah,
What did you do to Abbas
I
to
transported sugar for him.
you transported sugar for him?
Yes,
From Mumias.
From
not
Mumia?
from Mumias, from Nairobi to Nyeri, from Nyeri to Mandera, from Mandera. I did.
I guess
in a
this
different part of
David
the
what
country.
we
and
mean is-
Mutegi, the program, we've been
Went,
living on extra time. I think we've had quite a bit on the show, as have our viewers.
Close
And
the mic.
so, as we wind up, Chair, I'll start with you. Given that we've talked about various allegations, we've talked about ways to revive the sugar industry, do you believe that you have done everything in your power, you have conducted yourself in a manner that helps Kenya revive the sugar industry?
We are not reviving sugar industry.
Right.
I have said and I'll repeat again
Yes.
that
Your mandate.
it is past the time when we are reviving sugar industries. When sugar industries were under protection and had a monopoly of milling sugars and selling to Kenyans, and the government restricting other importers to come into this country is bygone. That is what I want Honorable Ashali and the Mumias fraternity to understand, that those things have been overtaken by events. So reviving government sugar industries, and I don't know why even they are reviving even Mumias, because Mumias is 80% private in the first place. The government owns only 20%. The government cannot be able to run factories that they own 100%. And they have privatized, and they have the bill is still in parliament for privatization.
Very quickly, where are we on the Comesa sugar
It's
safeguard?
gone, it's gone. There's no more any commercial safeguard.
There are no more
We are-
extensions.
It's expired in February. What the government is trying to is still look for another extension.
No,
But-
but I'm surprised the chairman does not know that the Commerce has already given us 2 years safeguards for
Yeah,
another
we
2 years.
we have been given 12 years and it has expired.
Yeah,
So
12
so it
years,
doesn't-
but plus the 2
it
that
doesn't
we
make any
already
sense.
have. If
It-
we
it-
have already 2 years that we have been given safeguards, I
let's
think we
be-
should
let us be
appreciate.
sincere. Let us be
But again,
sincere.
also what I wanted to say, and it's
No, before you say, you'll come to your turn. Before you say,
But also talk about the indebtedness of the sugar companies
uh,
across the
which,
country.
which sugars are indebted? Is the government-owned millers which are indebted? Why are they indebted? Because of the mismanagement. People talk of absolute machines. They are not. They are not nothing called absolute machines. Small sugar millers like West Kenya and Butali are running with absolute machines that they have bought from Mumias, that they phased out.
Obsolete.
Obsolete, and then they are making profit. They are competing with other commercial countries. So the issue that the government remains, and we are told that KPMG, so Kidero gave a discount to Makali or Noor. How much is a kilo of sugar today? That is 3,800. No, it's supposed to be 3,600. The government must pull out of those business. If this sugar industry has to survive in this country, then the government hand should be out of it. Let it be privatized. Let the private sector compete with other parts of the world. And it is a very lucrative business. It is. I have no doubt that it is going to revive and it is going to survive.
Okay.
It's not that when Mumias die that Kenyans are going to die.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that it's coming from the chairman's mouth that the people of Mumias should forget about government support.
They should. How long
just
ago?
to
50 years.
Just to request that
50 years along the line.
the government should come in to help the people of Mumias.
What about
we have
Sir.
realized this. We have realized this. That's why we have taken up a completely different dimension, because we know the committee under the chairmanship of Noor cannot help us. That's why we went demonstrating, so that the other stakeholders can understand what we are going through. We have also formed a select committee. We have already done a motion, which is today lying in the Speaker's office for approval, pending on what the outcome will be. So that if the Committee of Agriculture is not able to assist us, we can get a committee, a special committee that will go to look into the running of Mumias. But generally, what I want to say, Parliament as another arm of government should help this government, the executive, to fight corruption. We cannot allow the government or the executive to fight corruption in its ranks, and the responsibility that we have been given as a committee of Parliament, which is an arm of government also, is not helping the government to fight corruption. The other day, the president, His Excellency the President, said even if it's him found in corrupt practices, he should be charged. I don't see why the committee is saving people who are clearly seen to have played a role in the mismanagement of Mumias. The board of management of Mumias has commissioned the KPMG to do a report for them. Today is the 10th month after the report has been done. They have even gone further to sack the managing director and some very senior managers in Mumias Sugar. What is happening that they have not been able to sign whatever signature they will need to sign, so that they can make this report final, so that we can now implicate the people who are in this report. You know, there are so many things, and we know how the board was appointed. The board was appointed through a government representative who was sitting on the board, using the 20% of the government to nominate whoever becomes the director on the board of Mumias.
Okay.
And that is the loophole
Right,
that these people
is helping you.
took advantage of.
Okay, very quickly, David and Mutegi. We've talked about sugar and Mumias at length. Do you believe, given the way things are, that the planned government bailout will make any difference to Mumias and the broader sugar industry? David?
I believe in what he said, that the government has no business being in the sugar industry.
You could allow people to speak. You've spoken. Thank you.
It's a genesis of corruption. In fact, they have been moved to privatize all those Chamiliro and all those. So if they are privatizing theirs, even the 20% they have in Mumias, they kick them out.
Maybe a bit of interjection.
No,
Yeah,
we're out of time. David?
Well, I guess that's the route to go. The whole idea of privatization of factories is important. But the problem then with this privatization is the interest and stake of the local communities in those areas, because they have a stake in the continuation of those factories. Are they ready, when it's privatized, for them to participate effectively, to buy those shares? Or again, it will be, there is politics around it, which I know Washali has to mind when he talks about these issues. But my disappointment final word on this is that this report is just shows the extent of the inability of Parliament to resolve anything and everything, to be relied upon to sort out or provide solutions. The recommendations are rather generalized, cosmetic. They're not retributive, they're not punitive, and clearly there are many avenues for getting away with murder.
In fact, if I was asked, I would say these committees, that the money they are spending doing oversight, I think that they should give that mandate to other agencies. Because the Parliament has no ability at all, considering what this one did. They have no ability to
There's
investigate.
nothing. After so much money
They
spent.
should give it to the police or the corruption people, although they are also tainted. I don't know who, but that's the way to go.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. You've been watching Cheche live on Citizen TV. Today's guests have been the chair of the Agriculture and Livestock Committee in the National Assembly, the Honorable Aiden Noor of Mandera North. And we've also had the Mumias East MP, the Honorable Ben Washali. And as always, we've had the panel of David Makali and Mutegi Njoy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging with us and for sending in your thoughts and opinions. My name is Uduaka Mimo. We'll see you next week.